Good morning, peeps and peeps. Now, today's video is probably going to be a little longer than normal. I want to keep this short because editing longer videos takes up a lot of time for me. A couple hours. So I want to keep this nice, simple. Might dive in a little deep. I don't know. I'm not too sure how long the video is gonna be. I don't have any idea of how this is gonna work. But either way, before I get started with today's video, I need you guys to like, comment, subscribe on today's video. Yeah, share if need be. But today's topic, as you know, is gonna be a list of foods I always have to say that you need to stay away from, or just cut back on. Right? If you're looking to lose weight, burn fat, etc. Right? So let's get in depth into it. Let's kind of go step by step. Right? I have a list of things. Granted, I can't just remember all the shits and giggles off rip. Right? So this one I'm looking at. Right? Number one thing, right? I kind of went in depth by everything. I kind of went in why stuff. I wanted to kind of give you guys, make sure that I wanted to put a bunch of things outside the video and say just don't do it. I put in things to an extent that what would be very detrimental to your health, what would be very handicapping as far as you getting to your goal from point A to point B, right? Now, my number one thing though, funny thing, my number one thing was processed foods. Now, when it comes to processed foods, like, of course, Burger King, McDonald's, fast foods, right? Things that you're going out, right? Whether you're going to the grocery store, things are on the inside of the grocery stores typically will be more processed. The reason I'm saying stay away from them, a lot of times we tend to overeat them. Those foods typically are high in calories, right? Those typically be high calorie dense foods. With that being said, if our goal is to be in a caloric deficit, it's going to be easier to be in a caloric deficit if we're eating foods that are filling, right, but also lower calorie. If we're eating foods that are not filling, right, but it's super high in calories, and we keep overeating that to get our body filled and satiated. And it's gonna be harder to do that with a Big Mac in comparison to, say, a ground turkey taco that you made at the house, or like a chicken wrap, right? There's a very big difference at the point that I want to make sure that the foods you guys are eating is gonna be smart foods, right? Keep in mind, I'm not the person that's like the perfect diet. I'm gonna need this to the point to the T. I need this to the point to the T. I like to be more flexible. I would like to have a very flexible lifestyle type thing. Alright, so I like to do it a little differently. I don't want to keep it by the book. I like to do things a little differently. That's why typically I don't praise to just should do so. Of course, if you want to stay away from it 100%, do so. But I do not like demonizing foods. But if you want to cut back on it, I would say hooray for cutting back on it, but don't demonize it too much at the end of the day, okay? Now, my next thing will be too much sugar. Or sugar in general, too much sugar in anything. But I do have a thing that I actually haven't had sugar in quite a bit. Except at the time I made a pancake thing like a month ago. Actually, no, I'm lying. That was not sugar. It was like Splenda. But either way, like trivia, something like that. So it hasn't been sugar in a while, actually. Kudos to me. But I do supplement a lot of things. I'm not very big on having too much sugar or fruit in that matter. My next thing is too much fruit. But stick with the sugar for now. You don't want to have things that's going to spike your insulin too much or allow you to get even hungry. Because keep in mind, a lot of times we have a lot more sugar. It allows you to typically be more hungry throughout the day. And the more hungry you are because you're eating too much sugar and your body is, of course, eating too much of that. Of course, then I don't want you guys to risk diabetes or risk anything health factor at all. So, of course, stay away from it. Not stay away from it just altogether, but cut back on it. If you want to make some supplements, or just like some switches here and there, of course, Trivia, Splenda, sugar-free syrup, stuff like that, right? If you want to, of course, have that sweet taste, but not the calories that kind of leaves with it, make a substitute. Do so. Be smart about what you're doing. Be smart about what you put into your body. Also, don't stress it. Keep it easy. Keep it nice and fresh. Don't do anything that's gonna hurt you in the long run. Keep it simple so it's something you guys can stick to. Got it? And again, next thing would be fruit, right? There's a lot of fruits I say I would be like, hey, do so if you want to. Then there's fruits I'll be like, you really gotta stay away from. My biggest thing, if I were to categorize any type of fruit, two types of fruits to stick away from, it would be melons, right? Like cantaloupes, watermelons, honeydew melons, right? High in sugar for sure. I mean, it's gonna be very dense in calories. Like, for example, for a very small serving, right, of watermelon, you can have, say, I believe with 35 calories, be looking at 20 grams of carbs. So it's carb based. Right? Keep in mind, carb isn't the enemy, but you gotta keep in mind you're overly eating certain type of macros, and you easily overeat that, right? very filling, right? Very hydrating, yes. Natural sugar, either way, but sugar is still sugar. Your body doesn't care whether it's fake sugar or the real sugar. Your body's gonna break it down the exact same way. But keep in mind, be smart with what you're doing. Not only will be melons, but also one thing you really want to stay away from is dried fruits. If you're trying to lose weight, if you're trying to lose fat, you don't want to have something that's super dense in calories, super dense with sugar. Not only are you going to be able to constantly spike your insulin, that's a one-way stop for you to be able to put back the pounds onto your body. I guarantee, if you think you have a great diet, you pound your face with dry fruits, as great as that may taste or may be, you are overly indulging in extra calories that your body do not need to be taken in. So keep in mind, be smart about what you put in your body, be smart about it, and be happy with it. Be safe with the exact same time. Don't stress it, don't do too much. Be in a load that works for you best. Do what's best for you long term. Not short term, long term. Got it? Now, also one thing I'm also saying is stay away from. Don't want to say stay away from too much, but of course have a good idea of what's too much or what's too little. Just go with flow. Now what I mean by that is nuts, right? Walnuts, cashews, peanuts, almonds, right? Stuff nuts like that are very high in fat. Which I think they could be high in calories. Like for example, a handful of almonds, I believe is what, 28 almonds? We're looking at about 170 calories for like a handful. And keep in mind, if we're just going off the top of our dome, how big are the handfuls that we actually get? So that 170 calorie handful could easily turn to 300 calories off rip. Because we're just eating, not typically thinking, not be mindful of what the actual numbers are. Just going by the fact that it tastes good, right? But it's healthy fat, so it's good for our hearts and our eyesight, right? Yes and no. Fats are still fats, whether it's mono, polyunsaturated, same old. Healthy fats are going to be super beneficial when eaten correctly. When eaten in the amount that it should be eaten, it's going to help wonders, and it's going to help you. It's going to be a fat that helps you burn fat, right? But too much of it is a fat that helps you gain fat. Keep in mind, it's still going to be calories, and it's still going to be fat at the end of the day. So, whether it's a healthy fat or not, too much of it, and then it's going to have a negative effect on your body. So be smart about that, and just have an idea of how much you should be eating, or at the end of the day, also stay away from it. Also, you can probably say it's a fruit. I'm not too sure. My brain gets like bongled when it says it's a fruit or vegetable. Avocados, I probably should know by now if it's a fruit or not. I'm going to say fruit. Stay away from avocados. It's like a butter, right? Super high in fat, super high in calories. People tend to overindulge on it. People tend to overeat it. And people tend to do way too much when it comes to avocados, especially when they're on like keto or whatever. You're overindulging on it a lot. At the end of the day, you might be feeling at the end of the day, hey, you might be feeling like, oh, this keto diet making me tired. Yeah, because you indulge in so much fat, your body is getting cluttered with the internal fat. At the end of the day, I wouldn't be surprised if people were to get high blood pressure and high cholesterol. It's not safe. But again, like everything I'm saying on this list, be smart. And just listen to your body, because at the end of the day, you know your body better than I do. So take everything with a grain of salt and see what applies to you best. Because if you're someone who are allergic to nuts, the last one's going to be easy. Right? You don't even eat nuts to begin with. So kudos to you, or not. If you like peanut butter, can't eat peanut butter. Sorry. If you like almond butter, you can't have almond butter. Sorry. But yeah, let's move on. Now, lastly will be, I'll probably say, caffeinated drinks. Right. For multiple reasons. I'm going to get in depth after about my reasoning. I kind of wrote everything down. And of course, I have a source where I find all the information at. But, right, when it comes to caffeinated drinks, like, of course, you have Rock Stars, you have Monsters, you have Red Bull, you have etc., right? Those drinks are super high in sugar, super high in carbs, and you're overly going to keep drinking those, right? Adding calories to your normal daily intake. Because I guarantee you're not adding those calories to what you're eating. And what people I probably say, don't drink your calories, eat them. Right? Of course, if you want to have a smoothie here and there, want to do X, Y, and Z, you can do so. Do you? You're a grown person. Do you? But also be smart. At the end of the day, I'm here to educate you guys on what to do and what not to do. So it's just best for you on a daily basis. Now, keep in mind, I'm going to put this into the video. If I can't, then I can't. But here's my thing when it comes to caffeine, right? It does have certain effects on your body if overindulged. Now, keep in mind, I'm not the best reader, so shut up. I probably should put it up to begin with just so you guys can read along if you guys can't even understand it. But I'm going to try to read as best I can. Now, keep in mind, caffeine stimulates neuron activity in the brain, in which neurons send messages to the pituitary gland to stimulate the adrenal glands, which then produce adrenaline and cortisol. Adrenaline, cortisol are those famous hormones involved in fight or flight mode, right? Meaning that's like what you get when your heart's pumping, your heart's beating, but like go, 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 go. You gotta be like fight, or you gotta be someone gonna get the hell out of there. That's your fight or flight mode. Everyone has that. Like if you're like getting bullied, you have a fight, or someone like talking mess about you in the heart, like that's your adrenaline, right? Now, which happens, of course, when you are facing danger. Now, the thing is, why can that be bad if it's overdone, right? Like, keep in mind, right? If your adrenal glands are fatigued, right, which means if you overly keep utilizing them, which you can when consuming more caffeine, then caffeine can cause your adrenals to overwork to make more cortisol and burn out your glands. Or overworking anything isn't good, right? This leads to your adrenals being weakened and less able to respond adequately. Make sure that your body is working efficiently, consistently, right? Now, this is why coffee has less and less effects over time on people with adrenal fatigue, right? Meaning, of course, that's why people feel like, what's the word for it, right? You're getting used to it, right? And a lot of times, feel like the caffeine isn't hitting you the way it was. So people are like, oh, cycle off. Well, you can do so, do what you want to do, but also be smart that maybe your body is overworking than what it should be. If you want to cycle off your caffeine, whether it's your pre-workouts, caffeine drinks, do you, boo-boo. I ain't your mama, I ain't your daddy. I'm also not your doctor. But be mindful of a lot of things at the same time, right? Now, where the hell do I live on? Oh, it says, if your adrenal glands are fatigued, then caffeine can cause your adrenals to overwork to make more cortisol and burn out your glands, lead to adrenal being weakened, less able to respond quickly, blah, 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 blah. Yes. Now, one thing is, this is what you got to look at, right? Your body is overworking, right? Too much caffeine is getting put into the body. Body isn't functioning at the rate that it should be, and it can lead to other things, like you waking up naturally tired now. Your body doesn't have a rate of just functioning properly because now it is going to always, what is the word? It's going to always, come remind me, what is the word? What is the word? Come on, can I just put the word here if I like remember it? Come on. It's like when you rely. It's going to rely on caffeine. It's going to rely on, that's what I need. This is what I have to do to get going. It's like your body is now a car that has no self-sufficient way of, it has no self-gas, no self-producing gas. Your body is just a car on E until you chuck some gas, i.e. your energy drinks. You don't want your body to rely on some outside source that's also could not be natural, right? Like quite a lot of caffeine drinks. Coffee, a little bit more not natural. But you also don't want that, so if you don't want to rely on that too much. But also, what's the big thing that I actually put together? And this one I actually put together myself. It says, now this thing you got to look at is which overall may lead to low blood pressure and low blood sugar with a decrease in cortisol production. Now, when you are less likely to produce cortisol, right, your blood pressure is not likely to keep up with your mind. When your cortisol is increasing, your heart rate increases too, right? That's what gives that flight or fight mode. Your adrenaline is up, your heart is pumping, your blood is pumping faster, right? But when the cortisol levels are lower or they fatigue or just don't produce in general, your blood isn't pumping and it's pumping slower. Now, when you have a low blood pressure, you can suffer from, sometimes depending on people, nausea, lightheadedness. I mean, a lot of times when you're functioning, working out, you can't function to the best because if you overwork and your body doesn't know how to pump the blood to get the oxygen to the rest of the body. For example, when you're working out, the first place your body loses oxygen is in the brain. So if you're overworking and your body isn't producing oxygen, pumping it to the brain, you will pass out. I've had many clients overwork with low blood pressure and then tell me, oh, but I'm about to pass out. I'm like, well, why? What happened? Oh, low blood pressure. You probably showed me off rip. But granted, people feel like they want to host it because they feel they can handle it for themselves. Do not neglect any information. I can be able to help you 100 times, 1,000 times better if you give me the full information. But at the end of the day, she's great now. She lost like 30 pounds. She's doing great. Anyway, back on topic. Do you? Now, one thing is I want to hint on when people are feeling tired, apart from overly consuming caffeine, people may feel tired because rather if they're already overweight or they feel like they're in a happy weight, right? But you gotta look at the point that lots of the people are feeling tired. Keep in mind, it's not about the fat that's on the outside; it's on it's on the inside. So let's look at this, right? So we have a vein and artery, whatever, right? Your blood flows through it, right? Now keep in mind, when we're being unhealthy, for eating bad foods, for not being active, we're going out to eating junk, eating crap like that on a daily basis, you're gonna have these fatty deposits, right, built on the wall of these veins, right? Now what that is that restricts the blood flow, right? And so it's gonna restrict the oxygen within the blood. Now keep in mind, within these fat cells you have cholesterol, phospholipids, and triglycerides all within these fat cells, right? Just so you guys know. But keep in mind, when you're restricting the blood flow, you're restricting the amount of oxygen your body can produce to the rest of the body. So then again, your body's going to now function less because your body is not going to be able to have that much energy based off the oxygen flowing throughout the body to function. So if your body is going to have a lot of fat within the body, not just on the outside, but on the inside as well, with the more fat on the inside, the more tired and sluggish you may feel because your body isn't flourishing, not functioning the way it should be. So think, a lot of times it's not just on the way you look, it's about the way you feel at the exact same time. Feeling tired all the time, feeling sluggish all the time, feeling you can't move, feeling you can't do this and this and this. You might need to rethink your current diet and your current lifestyle. Add something to it. Add rather it's an activity, right? Add rather it's a better diet, online diet, better just eating habits, right? Just better eating habits. I don't even want to say diet. Just better eating habits. Got it? So yes, be smart. Keep that list in mind that I made you guys. Make sure you guys are being smart. If I left anything out of this list that you feel be also super important to stick away from or just cut back on, comment down below. And for sure, thank you for you guys tuning in. Also, watch my other videos I've been posting all this week, right? And all last week and the week before that, I've been posting consistently for over a month now. Almost over 40 videos. This quick, in under 40 days. So yeah. Without further ado, I'm going to need you guys, of course, like, comment, subscribe. Follow me on Instagram. My Instagram will be in the description box below. And guys, I love you guys for sure, 100%. Guys, now remember, get the channel to 1,000 subscribers so I can reveal my transformation video during quarantine. Of course, for you guys still in quarantine, I'm still going to make sure to get videos out for you guys, workouts so you guys can stay healthy, stay functional, and be the best you that you could be. But yeah, guys, without further ado, remember today is not the past and it's not the future. It's the present. Because it's a gift. Now live it to the fullest.